We all know that introverts might rather be at home on the couch reading a book, but sometimes it is very necessary to network, especially when you're trying to build your bookkeeping business. So I have 10 tips today for fellow introverts about networking. Number 1, when you're at a networking event, look for groups of 3 to go up to and start chatting with. Oftentimes that can just be a really natural segue. Maybe one person would peel off and start talking with you. So that will probably be a little less pressure on you. Joining a big group might be more intimidating, and joining just a 2-person group, it might be kind of hard to get in that conversation. Number 2 is prepare ahead of time. This is probably like my number 1 thing that I do to make myself feel better. I have a video all about making an elevator pitch for bookkeepers, and it has some examples in there. The thumbnail looks like that if you want to check it out after this video. I would also say do some prep ahead of time. Figure out who's going to be at the event. Maybe figure out one person you want to make sure to talk to and kind of laser focus on that person. And you can also do research before you get there, like you would for a job interview, for example. Look up a person you want to talk to, look at their website, see what they're interested in, and see what you guys have in common. So I'm actually really curious, do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert? And if you're an extrovert, do you enjoy going to networking events, or is it still kind of like an arduous task? So let me know in the comments which one you are. Number 3, make a goal ahead of time for yourself. Maybe you want to make sure to talk to at least 5 people, or you want to get a follow-up meeting with 1 person, or get 2 people's email addresses. So if you set kind of a goal for yourself, that can make it kind of like a little bit of a game, like, okay, I'm gonna reach my goal. I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do. Number 4, I called get in the zone. So that just means like, I am an introvert, but I can kind of like turn on my extroverted self, or turn on like a friendly persona when I need to. And if I'm going to an event and I know it's only going to be like an hour, hour and a half, I can turn on the friendliness and try to be outgoing as much as possible. And I know it's for a short time, and then I'm going to be able to relax and recharge afterwards. So if you can just remind yourself, get in the zone temporarily, that is a really helpful tip. And if you don't know me, my name is Morgan. I have a website, FinePoints.biz, and I love to help bookkeepers out with their bookkeeping businesses. I'd love it if you subscribe to this channel, and a thumbs up really does help me out a lot if you can give this video a thumbs up. Number 5 is online networking. I love this one because a lot of times we kind of like don't count in our mind that as a type of networking, but it truly is. When you're on LinkedIn or when you're on Facebook, you are getting to know people. You are building your network. It's just from behind a computer screen. So I know for me, if I have the choice between expressing myself in writing or expressing myself in speaking, I'm always going to choose writing. Like, I just feel more comfortable with that. So if you're doing some kind of online marketing, usually it's more of a written skill. So it's creating a post, creating a graphic, writing an email to someone, that kind of thing. And I do have a class that helps you get bookkeeping clients. And we talk a lot about networking, of course, and also that online marketing piece. So I go through each of different social media outlet and how you can interact with people on each one, how often you need to be posting, that kind of thing. And we also talk a ton about what to do if you're shy, if you're nervous, if you don't feel ready. Lots of tips on interviewing, like what kind of questions should you expect in an interview. So definitely check out that class if you're interested. The link will be in the description box. Number 6 is focus on others. That really calms my nerves if I take the emphasis off myself and really listen to other person and what they're trying to say. And if we can get out of the mindset like I'm trying to sell my business, sell myself, and really switch that narrative to how can I help the client? If they have a problem, a question, like maybe I have the knowledge as a bookkeeper to really help them and make their lives better. Number 7 is practice transitions. So if you need to kind of like get out of the conversation and move to another group or another conversation, what are you going to say? How are you going to do that? So you can end with something like, oh, I'm going to go refresh my drink. It was so nice to meet you. So great to talk to you. Or maybe if it's someone that you want to follow up with, be like, hey, can I get your email address? I'd love to follow up about that thing that we talked about. Number 8 is do cool stuff. So that might be easier said than done, but maybe you have an interesting hobby that people are going to be interested in chatting with you about. I don't know, maybe it's like you just went on a trip rafting the Grand Canyon, and there's probably a lot of follow-up questions that people are going to want to chat with you, and then you'll probably stick in their mind as like, oh yeah, that's the bookkeeper who went on that cool rafting trip. Or maybe it's something within your bookkeeping business. Maybe you have a bunch of clients that are tattoo artists and you have a tattoo, and that can be like a conversation starter. Or if your clientele is something kind of different, that can also stick in people's minds. Number 9 is dress the part. So it really is true that we mentally feel different when we're wearing different clothing. If we feel confident, if we like the outfit we're wearing, it goes a long way in portraying confidence. Same with some of the other things you've heard, smiling a lot, having good posture, walking in like you're confident. That's gonna help a lot. And number 10 is just do it. So even if you have some trepidation, if you're worried about networking, the more you do it, the easier it's going to become. You're gonna get that practice and you're gonna learn how to navigate some awkward situations. Maybe you go to the same networking event over and over, and then you start to know people there and you can ask follow-up questions about their kids or whatever they're into. And in my class, I do talk about a huge list of different places you can network, and some of them are things that you might not even think about. So in most every city, there's some kind of chamber of commerce. And like in my city, it's really active and they have meetings like every single week. And so then you can kind of get to know those people and follow up with the same group over and over. And overall, just remember, people are people. They're not out there trying to judge you and trying to, tear you down. They want you to succeed and they truly want to get to know you and hear from you. So just because you consider yourself an introvert, don't let that stop you. This is a skill set that you can definitely develop over time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, a thumbs up helps me out a ton. Don't forget to check those links in the description box if you're interested in any of the stuff I mentioned. All right, I will talk to you next week. Take care.